Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken to the fact that they are a multidimensional consciousness, that they are everything and all possibilities that can exist can be envisioned if you train yourself to think outside of the box and think more simply. Take the things that you saw as complex and make it simple, and utilize that information to integrate simplicity within your mind so that you can be able to jump from one consciousness to the next consciously. You see, let me tell you a story, man. This happened to me one time. With facts. This is facts, straight facts. This happened to me. This is part of my awakening process that happened. This is a part of my awakening process. It's a story I'll never forget. This is a thing that happened to me, an experience that I'll never forget. I was sitting in the car, right? I was sitting in my car. I was waiting on somebody, at work. I was their ride to work, to and fro from work. So I'm at the business place or whatever. I'm sitting up there, I got up there early because, I wanted to just chill, be laid back, maybe take me a nap or something. So I'm sitting there, right? And I'm like, feeling like I'm drifting off to sleep. But you know how you catch yourself when you're drifting off to sleep, like, oh snap, like I'm sleepy, like type of thing. Like you notice that you're sleepy. I'm thinking I'm awake, right? Or I'm thinking, well, I am awake, but I'm in another realm. But dude, like, I didn't know that until it all broke down. Like at first, like I didn't know anything. Like I was like, what the heck is that sound? I was hearing a whole bunch of voices and people like talking a lot. And I'm like, man, I think I'm just sleepy, man. So some within me told me to just relax, let the energy flow. It was basically like, let's, relax, because before all of this, I was an intellectual masturbator, and I used to just delve into deep study of esoteric concepts and aspects of life and reality throughout all religions and spiritual sciences. So I already knew about a lot of stuff, and I was like, man, this might be one of those moments. Like a part of me was like telling me like facts, like this might be one of those moments where you're awakening, you know what I'm saying? Or you astral travel, or you astral plane, whatever you want to call it, or whatever. So I was looking forward to that. So I was like, when that happened to me, I was like, what the heck going on? So I just relaxed or whatever. Then it just got louder, and then I heard people screaming, and then I like looked up, and it was like planes flying around, and it was like bombs. I heard like bombs going off, like it was just straight chaos going on, like it was a war zone. Facts. Like, and this showed me, bro. Like this showed me, sis. This showed me how reality is actually working. So I'm thinking there's chaos going on. All this time I'm thinking I'm still in the car. I'm thinking it's so vivid. It's so vivid. It's like I'm thinking like this is actually happening. Which it was actually happening, but that's all another part of the story I'm gonna explain after. So I all this stuff was blowing up, and I'm still sitting in the car thinking like, what the heck going on? Like, whoa, like my mind's being blown. I'm like, gosh, dog, like what the heck? And it's like my car falling, like the ground started coming up. I'm like, what the heck? Deep. I'm like, bro, what the heck? The ground started coming up. I'm seeing people falling into the darkness. It's just darkness under the ground. It's like big boulders of gravel coming up out the ground, and under that is just darkness. So I'm falling into this darkness in the car. The car starts spinning. I'm like, dang, man, what the heck? I'm finna die. Like, oh, I'm finna die. So, but it kept spinning, and it kept spinning for a while, and I was like, dang. Man, I ain't dead yet. I'm like, dang, I ain't dead yet. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, then I was like, fuck it. Basically, I just threw death out the, just said, forget it. I'm gonna die anyways. Might as well just sit there and just lay there, and accept it. As soon as I did that, as soon as I accepted the thought of what death really is, bro, like a big bang, pow, I pop up in another reality. Facts. Pop up in another reality is similar to this one, but just a little bit different. I got similar associates, just a little bit different. Streets look similar. Everything just a little bit, some tweaked. You know what I'm saying? But after a while of me moving about and around within this dimension, these flower petals, these purple flowers, I think they're like purple, like lotus flowers, start just like a sheet of them outline the plane of existence, of what I saw as existence at that time anyway. And then another big bang happened. Boom. Outline. Pow. I'm going in the darkness again. And I'm like, dang, this happened again? What the heck is going on here? I'm experiencing all of this. Like, what the heck? This is crazy. and like scratching, like mentally, I'm like scratching my head, like this is crazy. Then I experienced another dimension, and it brought me to the state of consciousness to where I was like, dang, I'm really in this. Like, I'm like, dang, really, I'm really in this like sequence of, so quote unquote, like big bangs or energy expressions. And it boils down to the fact that the objective reality is that everything is energy, and we're all expressing in energy. We're an expression of life, and the way we operate on a daily basis should be in alignment with how life wants to be expressed. And so when I noticed that, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, dang, first of all, when I broke down everything that happened, my whole experience, I was like my higher self broke it down to me, was like the chaos was represented as all of the waves hitting each other and creating realities. And the bombs represent the sparks. There's sparks that's constantly going off in life. That's constantly going off and bringing more life and betterment into this realm of existence. And the planes were the thoughts flying through, sparking realities. You see, it all came to me in a package, like my genes were unlocked, because I was searching for a way to apply the information. And after that moment, I slowly began to utilize the information that I needed to use and express through my body and through the way I maneuver my body with my mind. How I let the energy flow. You see, when I was falling down in it, thinking I was quote unquote what people think death is, thinking I was gonna do that, and I gave up on it and was like, okay, well, anyway, fuck it. That's when you accept life. And that's what happened. See, I went into the darkness through the chaos of all, through the ordered chaos of everything that is, into the quantum field of darkness, the subconscious mind. And when you reach that point where you accept transformation, moving with anything that can happen, but still keeping your will to imagine and your will to change, then new life sparks. So I went to this next dimension. I went to this next reality. And you see, it brings me back to a story about, who they call Jesus, when he was talking about, in my Father's house there are many mansions. Well, you see, if it's a house, right? He was only saying this in a way that he could express it to you at that time, the way that the way they wrote it down and stuff. But it's deeper than that. But he said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. Now, how the heck many mansions? How are many mansions gonna fit in my house? See, these type of questions, hey, you got to ask the right questions so you can find out the answers. You got to take yourself on a quest. Take your ions on a quest when you ask a question. Facts. Then you'll find out the answer when you diligently study and apply. Field scientists of the field, looking at everything within the field, because of the field. Everything is the field, and you're doing scientific experiments by applying information to how you think. But how can one mansion fit in a house? That's impossible, right? Is that impossible? Or was he trying to say, or was he doing his best to say something? He basically said, in my Father's house, there is only one house. There was only one mind. There's only one space. But within it, so many things, like infinite. Trying to imagine many mansions in one house is like trying to imagine He was doing his best to express how numerous, like how many mansions. Like it's so many different ways. It's so big that you can't even, it's an insurmountable amount of places to exist. Because in mansions, you can have, how many bedrooms you want. Basically, if you can build it or get it built for you correctly. See, these many mansions within the mind, which is the house, are different states of thought. And every different state of thought has a reality that it makes and a body within that reality to experience that reality. This is multidimensional consciousness. So you got to get on this wave, man. You got to get in tune with the earth, because the earth is going to teach you that you're within one of those mansions. Like you can look up, you can see Father and Father and Father and Father and Father and Father if you want to. Because it's the Father's house. You get it? It's the Father's house. You're just in one of the mansions. But you see, when you can look from the perspective of those dimensions throughout the experience on the earth plane simultaneously, then you can now form thoughts, more creative thoughts, and match logic with those thoughts and manifest things. Because now you can see from multiple dimensions of life. Dimension ain't nothing but the way that you look at something. That's all it is. You see? It's just a thought that you focus on to the point where you go into a whole imagination motion picture. You go into a motion imagination. Because your imagination, see, what imagination really is the process of how your brain is interacting with the energy around it. You see, with the energy that it is, how it's interacting with itself. You see, your imagination is just your brain is a magnet. And a magnet attracts and repels. A magnet attracting and repelling means that it is actually tuning itself to different frequencies at every moment. Anything that you can imagine, it starts to tune itself on what to attract or repel to get that. Then when you use the stuff that you attract and repel in your mind, the ideas about the things and stuff like that, and you use it on a daily basis, then that thing can be attracted even more and become a possibility, or be condensed into a probability and then experienced as a reality. See, the way I broke it down, like people be trying to do like astral travel, man. People be trying to like astral travel and lucid dream all the time. But the way I just broke it down, bro, it was so simple for anybody to understand. If you really listen to what I just said, you will know how to do anything, mentally with your mind. You will be able to do and manifest things in the material world, and also manifest things in the material world. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about how long it's going to take, because that's just going to push it back farther. Because you're going to be in a state of anxiety. A state of anxiety is a state of wanting something to happen. And when you're in a state of wanting something to happen, your subconscious mind replays a cycle of you just wanting it to happen. So you're going to go throughout day to day, different moments happening, but the thing you want is not happening because you're just wanting it to happen. Your subconscious mind takes everything literal as it is inside of itself to create a program. Whatever you say, whether positive or negative, or literal or not. So you have to think, I'm living that. I am becoming the being that has that. I am being that. I'm living that. See, that's when you unlock your subconscious mind. You actually start attracting day to day. Start attracting the right thoughts you need to think and the right ways you need to move. Yeah. See, when it comes to multidimensional consciousness, yeah. I'm back here making a video. So when it comes to multidimensional consciousness, You're already living, you're already really living in those other dimensions. Your brain is just tuned, your device is just tuned to this one. And you're always connected with them. That's what brain waves come from. Those brain waves are actually your place, your set in stone place in space-time. Yeah. Waves move through, particles move through quantum entanglement. Particles move through quantum entanglement. So it don't matter. Wherever I am. That's how we're all multiple dimensions of each other, just living in parallel universes. We are living within the many mansions. And there are many, many more. Because he did not say, the Christ did not say how many there were. He just said many mansions. In one house. You got to think about this, man. How deep is this? And when I had that experience, oh my gosh. Then when I broke down the flowers, oh, I forgot about the flowers. When I broke down those flowers, and you know, if you look at a chakra chart, the 7 chakras going down the body, the one at the top over the head is called the crown chakra, and it looks like a purple flower. And when that purple flower laid down, if you remember the story when I said, you know, I was in a dimension and the sheet of purple flowers laid down on the whole, like all of the plane, like, and then boom, another boom happened. Unlock consciousness, crown chakra, letting it through, vex, letting it through, let it be. See, when I came to the conclusion that you just let things be, let the transformation happen, because the transformation is the betterment through the learning. Because people get thoughts all day about what they need to do and what they should do, and trying to think, you know, the best thoughts. But which ones are you listening to? The human brain processes over 70,000 thoughts a day. And you choose which ones to use, which conscious thoughts to use, ones you become conscious of. So what are you looking for? What thoughts are you looking for? You tune yourself to the thought by being the expression of that thought. You can only get to thoughts, other thoughts, if you have a constant betterment mentality aligned with the objective facts of reality. These many mansions that we live in, within one mind, and expressed through one mind in many different ways. We must start seeing each other as one people, because we are truly all one consciousness, being expressed in multitudes of ways. Get back to the objective facts of reality. Use the step that I taught you early in this video, so that you can break down your reality using your mind and all of the objective facts of existence and that's holding it in place. Jamashak is here to edify. Jamashak is edifying more and more every day the nature of reality and how to use it to benefit your mind and attract the right things at the right time in order to further your progress. Anything that you can desire, anything that you desire, anything that you don't desire, is all at your hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Let's love each other. Love is understanding. Peace. I love myself.